Hey everybody, this is Dave Cooper, and we are at British Offsite's new automated manufacturing facility. And standing with me is Grant Medham. Grant, thanks so much.
Always good to see you again.
Yeah. So Grant, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
So I'm the operations manager here at British Offsite. Essentially, on a day-to-day basis, it's ensuring that the manufacturing facility is running as it should.
So you're pretty much in charge of anything that starts at the first part of the line and goes all the way to the job site.
Yeah, so that's my role, to make sure that it goes through the correct quality,
right,
following health and safety guidelines, and the correct product goes out the door to the customer.
So you're going to take us on a factory tour. Give us just kind of a quick overview about what we're going to see.
So first, we're going to start where all the stock is picked. When I say stock, items that are consumed on the line, the nuts, the bolts, where that's picked from. Then I'll take you through the journey of it coming in as a coil, steel coil, going through and all the various processes where manual operations meet automation.
So are we looking at open wall panels or closed wall panel system?
These are closed wall panels that we're making through here today, but there is some open wall panels that we do, just not through the manufacturing facility at this time.
Got it. So we're going to go out, we're going to start at station one, and we're going to take everybody out there on a tour with us. You good with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, so Grant, tell me a little bit about station one. This is the first part of the process?
So this is one of the first parts of the process, and it's also fundamental in what we do here. So this is what we call the pick face. This is where all the items, all the nuts, the bolts, the screws are picked, ready to go into our 2D panelized system. This means the operators, the MSOs as we call them, are not having to walk around looking for consumables. It's all there in one place, ready for them to use. These are picked 8 hours in advance, and there's 8 hours worth of stock on each one of the carts, and they're all at point of use. So if you're building a panel, you've got all the tools, all the accessories and the items right next to you to be able to do the job fully.
So to me, this is probably like the most important part of the process, right? Because if they don't get the kits right, it stops the line.
Exactly that. So we don't want to waste time looking for stuff. You know, we need to make sure that everybody's got what they need when they need it at point of use. Right. So this is one of the fundamental processes in the factory, and it's the inbound process, so it needs to go right at the start.
So everything on these shelves is in an order for picking. Everything that's on these carts is what's needed for the next 8 hours. A day before, they set it up a day before, double check goes out, and then the carts are in a particular order as well?
Yeah, so the carts go back out in the order that they're going to come in, so they'll go into all their cells. Every single area, every single cell has its own cart, and it has all the products on that are required for that cell.
Got it.
The next step in the process is round to the Howick, where we're going to start forming our steel.
So you guys are doing your cold form steel, and you're printing your own steel here.
Yeah, exactly that, via a Howick machine and a file which is created in an in-house design department.
Got it. So you must go through a lot of steel then.
We do, and we use various thicknesses of steel as well.
Right.
So depending on what the customer requires, we can use various types, various thicknesses, and various widths as well.
And you guys are doing wall panels, floor panels, you do roof panels.
We're doing floor cassettes, we're doing uni roof, we're doing outside panels, walls on the inside, with insulation, without insulation.
Right.
So we can vary depending on what the customer needs.
Excellent. Walk me through what we're seeing here.
We have walkways all across the factory because it's important to keep our people safe, you know.
Right.
Our biggest asset is our people. We want them to go home as they came in every day.
Right.
So we have an excellent guarding system, which you'll see all around the factory. We also have painted walkways. The colour of the walkway denotes the risk level that you are on that particular walkway. A green is fully guarded.
Yeah.
You can walk free, you've got barriers on the side.
Yeah.
An orange, you need to pay attention. There'll be no material stored on there, but people could be working on there.
Right.
A red is where you do need a walkway. It's not protected, and MHE might move across it at any point. So you really stay off the red, keep on the green is what we say.
It's kind of like traffic lights.
It's exactly like that.
It's set up the same.
And we've got that whole way around the factory.
Yeah. I have not seen this in any factory around the world that I've been in. So
we spend a lot of time and a lot of dedication getting it right. With the people at Excellent as well, who work really good with us.
Got it. All right, let's head over to station 2.
Yeah, so this is where we start to roll our steel into stick form, ready for assembly on frame assembly.
On frame assembly. So we're now at station 2. This is the Howick machines, cold form steel. I love my Howick machines. I think they're some of the best in the industry.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. So this is our Howick frame of 5600. This is the older one out of the two we've got, but still as reliable.
Yeah.
So this is where we start to form our steel kit, ready to put together in framing.
I see you guys got it operational, which is kind of fun to see.
Yeah, so it's currently operational. It's running stick out there at the minute. At this moment in time, It's running a 200 mil stud. It can run a 100 mil stud, just depending on what the customer wants.
Yeah.
Just a few change parts that they need
Sure.
inside.
Is it only, I see you have 2 machines here.
Yeah,
Is there a difference in the 2?
They can run different things. You know, this is an older one, but still as reliable. This is a new one that we bought specific for the factory.
Right.
We can run floor cassettes through here, walls, panels, all different thicknesses and gauges what's needed and widths.
Depending on what it's called, whatever's called out in the plants.
Depending on what the customer requires.
Yeah.
You know, so we can be flexible to their requirement and needs.
So once the wall studs or the floor cassette pieces are all done here, you put them on a, what do you call it, a stillage?
Yeah, on a stillage. So
A stillage, yeah.
they're stacked on a stillage and they're moved over to frame assembly.
Got it. And so frame assembly's over here. So why don't we walk over there and take a look at that?
Let's do it.
All right. So station 3, we did station 1, station 2. Now we're coming over to station 3.
Yeah.
We're kind of breaking the rules by not staying in our green and red, but
I've
for
let
demonstration purposes.
Yeah, the warehouse know that we're off the walkway, so we're okay. So this is what we call MAO1 and MAO2. This is frame assembly. So this is where we start to put the steel together.
Okay.
As per specification. So it comes across in its stillage. We then start putting it together. All of these pieces are uniquely lettered, so we know what goes with what.
Right.
So you'll have an A and a B goes into a C.
Right.
It has all the dimples in place on both.
Right.
So it allows you to show you where all the fixings are. So this is part of the Randec line, but this is the manual process for Randec. And it's all controlled via a HMI, which shows you which piece goes where. So they'll put one piece in, press next, and it'll show you the next piece that goes in.
Yeah. So the Halleck machine's printing this all out, but it's already labeled and ready to go based from the Halleck. Then it starts on the Randec part of the line here.
Exactly that.
Which is then going to give us our automation.
Exactly that. So we go through a manual part, which I'll show you the next stage in a minute.
Yep.
Then the automation takes over. So you've got manual and automation working together to produce the panel.
Man, great. This is kind of a manual process here.
Correct. So this is a manual process at this stage. This is a person on the tools making sure the fixings are in all the right dimples and as per the diagram.
So you're putting the kit of parts together, right? And now it's going to move to the assembly process.
Yes, when you talk to operators, they talk about it as a big Meccano set that they're putting together at this stage.
Right. Well, let's walk over there and see that next process then. So
this is exactly the same as what's over there.
Yeah.
So we have 2 lines. We have 2
feeding.
framing stations feeding into one. Because the framing can run half the speed of the automation.
Yeah. So we have a wall panel system that's been assembled here. And now that's going to move here to get the air barrier?
Yeah, so vapor control layer. So this is fully assembled at this point. This is where we do our first quality checks.
Right.
So pictures are taken to give that golden thread of information that will be needed going forward for the developer or whoever it's for.
Excellent. All right, and then our next station over here is where they're putting on the air barrier.
Yeah, the vapor control layer. This is
vapor control layer. I say air barrier.
Exactly.
Yeah, vapor control.
What it is. So it's pulled across, it's taped down, making sure there's a seal all the way around.
All the way around here. And again, that's a manual process, but that's kind of the end of the manual process.
It is for now. The manual process kicks back in later, but for now, automation takes over.
Right.
So it's been manual up until this point. Once it goes through the door, automation will start taking over.
So what is on the other side of the door?
Robotics. So this is Randec automation, which is on the other side of the door. This is where your boards will get placed, the boards will get nailed, and also it will be routed.
All right, so that's where the boards will get placed, nailed, routed. And when you say routed, we're cutting out for windows, doorways.
Out for any openings, windows, doorways, trimming off the edge of the board. Because sometimes it's going to overhang. So then we get a panel which is boarded on one side with the openings cut out.
Right.
Then it moves through the rest of the line.
Yeah, so why don't we go check that out? All right, so we're done with the manual process. We have the vapor barrier on the studs. This is where the true automation is now going to begin.
Exactly as you say. So automation now takes over. So the panels move into position. The boards are all loaded. Now the boards start getting picked up depending on what the CDT file tells them to pick up. They're then placed onto the panel. Nailed into place, and the routing takes place.
Let's go down there and take a look at how this is operating. All right, so what do we see now? So it came through, they put a panel on it already?
Yeah, so the wind liner board has been placed into position on there. It's been nailed into place. and then the next one will come in, go next to it, and so on and so forth until it's full. Then it will start routing the openings out and round the edge of the panel.
Got it. It looks like we have another piece getting ready to come in now.
Yeah, we do. So it moves on to, as you can see it moving across, the white thing with it.
Yep.
That's a squarer. So that ensures that the boards are picked up square, so it gets to 0.0 correctly. So you can imagine there could be a bit of movement on the trolley.
Right.
But it needs to know
it's
that
that
this
accurate.
board is picked up perfectly. Exactly that.
It is that accurate.
Yeah.
So it has that, all that is doing is making sure it sits in there perfectly square. So when the robot picks it up, it doesn't have to adjust.
Very simple. It slides down so it knows it's horizontal and vertical are in the right place, and it re-picks it back up.
Got it. So this is putting the boards on, it's putting the nails in, or the screws, and then it's routing.
Yes. So it's cutting out all the openings
for the windows,
and then it's rimmed around the edge.
Yeah. That's amazing. How much output can this do?
The output?
Yeah.
So we can do in an 8-hour period 200 linear meters.
Yeah.
So that's about 24 to 28 linear meters per hour. So if you're talking square meterage, about 90 square meters per hour of output.
Right. And what's really interesting, I can't wait till we get to the end, because you have already thought your lines through that when your output picks up, you already have more storage and a faster way to get things done.
Yeah, so we knew that the manual process and the automation's always going to be quicker.
Five times you said, right?
It's 5 times quicker. Hence, we split into 5 finishing hours, which we'll see further down the line.
Yeah. All right, so where are we off to next?
Let's go to the first buffer station. This is important because after every robotic stage, we have quality checks in place to make sure the robot's done what the file's told it to do. Because there can be glitches in the file, but what's most important for us is the quality to the customer. So we do a checks in the next phase.
Yeah, well, let's walk over there. I'll follow you. All right, so this is the QC station. It just came out of some of the automation that's here. What's going on at this station?
So once it comes out of the automation, we need to check to make sure that it's at the correct specification. You know, is the openings been cut out correctly? And there's small pieces of board that need removing, which the recycling tool can't do. So we check the dimensions, we check that the boards are there, we check that the nailings are in the correct depth across the board, and then it can move on from this point. What we need to make sure is we're building up that golden thread of information so everybody knows the life of the panel all the way through the production facility.
So as much automation that you want to actually put in a factory, what you're saying is there's just some things that are so small that the automation really can't do efficiently, but a human still can.
Currently, that's where we are. So there is still steps in the automation process where the recycling tool can only take certain size boards off. So small slithers of board need to be snapped off. But we've got somebody here anyway doing the QC checks. So it doesn't add to the cycle time of the line.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so from here it goes, it looks like it goes to another process of automation.
Yeah, so from here it moves across to the transfer wagon. The transfer wagon also flips the panel over. So at this point, you'll have board with steel, then it'll have an open pocket on top. That's ready to move to the next station, which is the insulation of the panel.
Got it. So that transfer table takes this board, puts it up, this one picks it up and puts it down?
Exactly that. It's exactly the process.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, so from there, obviously we can't walk along there. We got to go back out around to which station?
Yeah, so the insulation station.
Insulation, is that automated as well?
It's automated, fully automated.
Let's walk over there and check that out. Now, you've been part of this entire process from the beginning, have you not, with helping pull all this together?
Yeah, so I joined the business 3 years ago. The Randec line was already in purchase, but everything else that goes with it, so the infrastructure that's very important, I had all my input in working with the MD, Sean Weston, about where things need to go and what needs to be in what process, because I've got a lot of manufacturing experience. So it's not just the line that you need to make sure runs right. It's everything that feeds into the line. That's where a lot of people can fall down. They see this line in the manufacturing, but if you don't have the right warehousing facilities, you don't have the right tools or the right processes, it's not going to run correctly.
Correct. All right, so now we're coming up on the insulation machine. Very clear to see that.
So this is where it's insulated. So you have an insulation bunker, which is filled. It's churned up, and then it's put into our panel.
All right. So you're an insulation bunker. Explain that process to me.
So the insulation gets loaded into the ISOFLOT bunker.
Yep.
It's churned up to make it into a material, cotton wool-like.
Yeah.
Then it's allowed, then it blows it via a hood into our panel.
Oh, I can see it actually moving through the tubes
so
there.
it moves through the tubes.
Got it. So everything's loaded up there. I call it in the hopper, right?
In the hopper, it's a hopper. It is a hopper, yeah.
Basically, and it brings it down, feeds into the tubes underneath, and then it comes to the machine and starts insulating the wall panels. How does it know where to put it?
So that's all through the CDT file. So the file that's been created from the design phase feeds the information through the whole line. So we don't have to tell it that there's a pocket here, fill that.
Right.
It knows how much needs to be in any particular pocket on any particular panel.
How many people have to work these stations? Once it's set up, it just goes?
It just goes. It just goes. So you'll have one person down this side working the robotics, one person on the other side. So you'll have two machinists, as we call them, or robotics operators, running the entire automation part.
Running the entire automation part. That's impressive.
Yeah, certainly is. Certainly is. Don't get me wrong, they are on the toes, but once it's running, it's running. There can be days where there's issues, the same as everywhere else. But if you keep on top of your maintenance, keep your area clean and tidy, and you train the people to the correct standard, you don't need so much labour in areas. It's about having the right people in the right places.
Got it. All right, so we're now putting in the insulation. What's happening next?
So after the insulation, we have another QC station because we've had robotics, automation. Now we're going to QC it, and then it'll go through another zero labour 2, which is the same as what we've seen before, where the wind liner or board is put on top and the openings are cut out. At that point there, you then have a box, but we can walk on and have a look at that.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Definitely. You know, it's interesting when you have these automated lines, for safety purposes, you stay outside of where it's operating.
Yeah.
But all these lines are actually very efficiently running from one to the next to the next.
They are. And where there is a possibility of somebody coming into contact, there is light barriers. So for example, there's a light barrier just here. So once we move into there, these are conveyors that stop running. So it allows you to be protected from the automated machine.
Right.
And then there is, post boxes to feed the panels through, which will only allow panels to go through.
Okay.
When everything is in safe mode.
Right. Excellent. Yeah, so I see the other zero labor line there. So that's basically doing exactly what we saw on the front side of the panel. Now they're putting on the back side of the panel.
Exactly that. It just follows the same file, but on the other side.
No vapor barrier though.
No vapor barrier over this side.
So, and this is going to be obviously the inside of the wall, the interior of the building?
Yes.
Right. Well, this is where it gets exciting, right? Because they're putting on the interior here, walls for the inside of the building, but now this is where the detail starts happening right after this.
Yeah, so after this is where, it's been horizontal all the way through the line now.
Right.
The robotics have done what they need to do. Now it goes back into a manual process, depending on customer specification.
Right.
What windows do they want? Do they have cladding? Are they having brick? So depending on what type of cladding brackets or brick ties we're putting on there, the fire stopping strategy, what cavity barriers they want on there, that's everything the customer can choose. Because we do a 2D panelised system, where you can customise it to what you actually need, rather than saying this is what you need to buy.
Right. Got it. But the customer has a choice. That's what I heard.
Yeah, customer has a choice.
Yeah.
It's all about the customer.
Sure.
If the customer wants something and it can fit within a 2D panelised model, we find a way to facilitate that.
And is everything bespoke that comes through here, or is there?
Everything's a snowflake.
Yeah.
Okay, we call it a snowflake. Everything's a snowflake. It's the same process that it goes through. It's still, an FSS system, a 2D panelised system.
Right.
But it's all got different quirks to it. Some might have vents in them, some might have pockets in them to allow them to be connected together.
Yeah.
Some might have rain screen to the edge. Some might have it inside. So it's a snowflake. Every panel is an individual snowflake that runs through the line.
Would it be easier if there weren't all snowflakes?
Yeah, of course it would.
Yeah.
No, in normal manufacturing, everything would be the same going through the line.
Yeah.
But it's all part of the fun.
You can have black or black.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
color.
That would be the good way to do it. But unfortunately, that's not how we are.
No, it definitely is not. All right, so after this station, this is going to go to another lift scissor table, right?
Yeah, so now we go to what we call the upriser. So this is about lifting the panel up to allow people to be able to work on it.
So around the corner here is where they're going to stand this panel up to put it into storage?
Yeah. This is to go into the finishing aisles first before it goes into storage. So
got it.
The panel gets stood up.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And what we call the upriser, it then goes into the finishing aisles to allow to put that custom stamp on it, depending on what the customer needs.
So this is going to stand up, and then there's a whole nother system out here that takes and actually pulls these walls into whatever line it needs to go
so
to.
you've got a transfer wagon
based on the finish,
which moves it across, puts it into the finishing aisles, which is where we start seeing a bit more magic happen, but manual magic rather than automation.
All right, so let's go check out what that process looks like, because there's even efficiencies built into what you're doing there to streamline that process.
Of course.
They're working on both sides of the wall, you said.
We're working on both sides of the wall in some areas, and they only have specific jobs to do in each area. So rather than everybody jumping on one panel, you fit the windows here, you put the external insulation on here, your EPDM here. Every area has its specific task, has work instructions and trained operators in there.
Love it, let's go, I'll follow you.
Brilliant.
All right, so this is the panel lines that you were talking about.
This is what we call the finishing aisles. Okay, so we have 5 numbered finishing aisles and 1 automation line.
Yeah.
This is because automation can run 5 times faster than the manual process in here. So this allows us to split the work out so it doesn't bottleneck the automation.
So the automation, you said that over there as well, is 5 times faster than what can happen here.
Correct.
So with that said, you have to put more lines for the panels so you can get double the work done or 5 times the work done.
Yeah, this is exactly what we've done in here. So it splits the work content up to manageable areas.
Right.
And also, while we're in here, we have 5 cells within each finishing aisle. So 1 cell fits the windows, 1 does the MF5, 1 does the cavity barriers, 1's the rain screen.
Yeah.
They have specific jobs to do in specific areas to remove the chaos, you know. We've got structured way of working, and that's how we work.
So upstairs, I mean, you said you store about 700 windows.
Yeah, so upstairs we've got the capacity to store 700 windows, all pre-pricked, and they're prepped, ready to go in the hole. When I say prepped, window straps on, anything else that needs doing, vents putting into place, handles putting on, ready to come down on our window lift and put it into position.
So they come down this window lift here, that machine then puts them in.
They come down the window lift, the manipulator picks them up, moved into position, fixed into place.
And what's happening on the back side of the wall?
So on the back side, the MF5 is going on there. So that's to allow your MEP to run through, and also for the dry liners to fix onto for your fix on site.
Are all these lines pretty much the same process happening over and over?
The same process.
So
if you're in finishing aisle A, cell 2, it's the same as finishing aisle D, cell 2. Same job.
Are you putting any MEPs in your wall system currently?
Currently not. Currently
not.
Saying we might not in the future, but at this moment we're not, no.
Got it. All right, so once the wall's finished, now it's going to an indoor storage facility.
Once it's fully finished, so once it goes through the finishing aisles and it's had all the different components put on, it goes into our vertical storage.
We have the exterior windows put in. We have the work on the inside being done on this backside that we were just showing you. So what's the next step then?
The next step is where we put the rain screen on, well, the EPDM, then the rain screen, and any fire stopping that needs to happen. So
all right, let's go take a look at that. And now, is this the final step in the process?
No. So there's 3 more steps from here for it to be a finished panel.
3 more steps?
There's 3 more steps. So one's already passed through here.
Yeah.
This is where the external insulation gets put on. It comes down for our unique system, so it's all stored upstairs, and the external insulation gets put onto the panel, depending on what the customer requires. Also, the fire stopping, so in terms of the purple bag you can see there, the cavity, the cavity tray that needs to go on there, that's also put on at this stage.
All right, tell me a little bit about what we're seeing here.
So this now is having its head shutter fitted. So what we essentially have without the packaging is a fully finished panel. So we have the rain screen on, the brick tie channel, the windows fitted, EPDM, cavity barrier in place, and now the head shutter is being fitted.
What is a cavity barrier?
The cavity barrier, so it sits inside the cavity. So we've got bricks on there. It's part of the fire stopping strategy, which is needed on site. The head shutter gets fitted. We then have a final inspection from a QC. So we have a quality control person who is independent from the line, checking over this panel to make sure it's as per specification. It then gets packaged up and moves to vertical storage. So what we've got now is a fully finished panel ready to go to site.
What I love about this process is you're not just using this floor, you're using floors above, and you're bringing automation in with that as well, with the insulation coming. It's manual automation, right? But you're feeding the system from up there. But talk to me about the head shot, because I showed this last time I was here on site. I think that's brilliant.
So the head shutter, it gets built upstairs, and then it gets brought down on a hoist and fixed to the top of the panel. That then forms the square around the building to allow the rebar to sit in and the concrete to be poured in. So you get your slab ready for the next level.
So when this is done, this is on the exterior of the building, so this basically becomes your safety net as well on the building as you're building. Then you pour that slab locks that entire floor down and watertights it immediately.
That's what it does, yeah. That's exactly what it does.
And the pressure of it makes it monolithic because you're tied together.
It's all fixed down, so it's fixed to the concrete columns as well at the side.
Got it.
Throughout the building. Yeah. Concrete slab on top. Once that's gone off, as we call it, we then can start doing the next level on top.
I love it, I love it. All right, so this is basically to affix your brick. This is just a rock wall, is it not?
Yeah, this is rock wall, exactly, rock wall insulation on the external face of the building.
This system, and I'm telling you, I've been on the job sites and I've seen this put in place. I think it's absolutely brilliant. People can be moving in on the first floor while you're still building the 20th
Exactly,
floor.
And it allows your fit out to be much quicker.
Yeah.
Gone are the old days where you have to build all your building before your first fix, your second fix goes in. This allows savings on your prelims, and it allows the trades to get in there a lot quicker. So you start having that closed box months earlier than you would traditionally.
Yeah, for sure. The MEPs can go in, everybody can be in there.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're ready to package it up so it can go out to the site, or where
so this will be packaged now, and then we put it into what we call a vertical storage system. So in our vertical storage system, we can hold 850, roughly, linear meters of stock, which is about a week's worth of production.
Got it. Well, let's go check that out. This way?
Yeah, follow me.
All right, so walk me through what we're seeing here. Obviously, this is an area that we wouldn't normally be in.
No, we wouldn't.
They know we're here.
But they know we're here, and it's all locked off. So this is where our fully packaged product goes into our vertical storage. So we have a transfer wagon, much like where you saw on the upriser, the transfer wagon that moves it into the aisles. We have one that moves it out of the aisles and into our vertical storage. This essentially becomes a warehouse pick face. So a normal warehouse in, up and down the country, they have what they call as a pick face where they take the product from. This is our pick face, but it's got panels in there rather than, any other item, consumable item. So it gets stored in here for up to 4 to 5 days, and then it gets put outside on what we call a uni-skid, something that we've designed in-house. Then it goes to site.
Uni-wall, uni-skid, I got it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
It's all the branding.
It's about the branding.
Yeah.
So then it goes to site. What we do here at British Offsite is we have a month's worth of stock ready to go for any customer. What that allows is, if the build picks up, we can go faster. We've got the products ready for you. Then once you start taking it, we carry on. We carry on building. So if there is any breakdowns in our process, because there can be issues wherever. Automation could break down, people don't turn up for work, there's a flood, whatever might happen. We still have your stock here, so we can still ship it out to you. So in terms of you being able to hit your demands on site, we can still give you the products.
Got it. I mean, you have all this vertical storage here, but it's also kind of designed for the future. You could even go up a level if you wanted to, or do it outside.
We could go up a level in here.
As you grow.
As we grow, our uni skids could stack too high. So there's various things we can do. As capacity grows, we've got all that built in ready, because we know what the demand's going to be like for our product. So we know as we get bigger what we need to do. When we need to pull that lever, we're ready for it.
How is this all organized so you know what's going out the door and it's showing up on a job site in a very systematic way, so the folks on the job site understand how the pick's going?
So it's all planned for our system, BC. So it's all planned via a planner upstairs. She plans what goes through what line at what time. It then is automatically told which aisle to go in. So if we look up there, it shows you all the finishing aisles, and it tells the operators which vertical storage aisle it needs to go into.
Got it. And then it just sits there until it's ready to be shipped.
It sits there and it gets picked at the other end. It gets transferred onto our skid. Then it gets dispatched, what you call it, on the system, and sent to site. It's then signed for at site, and then it becomes their property. Got
it. So can we walk down one of these aisles?
Let's go down one of these vertical storage aisles. That's fine. So this is our vertical storage, where we store all the panels before they go on the uni skid and go out to site.
How many panels can this hold? Or I guess it's more about how many meters of panels.
Well, it's 850 linear meters. If you think an average panel is, let's say, 4 meters. There's 220 panels roughly can be in here at any one time, depending on how the customer wants it, because we try not to mix sites together. We want to keep them through, their project flow, as we call it.
I mean, your lines are full right now, so this factory's been humming, huh?
Yeah, the factory's busy.
Yeah,
we're busy, you know. The demand's started to come through now. You know,
Right.
everybody's relaxed a little bit more.
Sure.
People are buying homes again, so our demand is picking up.
Right.
And we're actually catering for that. So over the next, 4 weeks, we are actually doubling output. So we're going on a recruitment drive at the minute for more leaders on the shop floor, for more MSOs, multi-skilled
Right.
operators who do the doing essentially through the line. So it's a really exciting time.
So you're hiring?
Yeah, we're hiring.
I love it. So, hey, if you're watching this and you're interested in working at a super high-end, efficient, robotic manufacturing facility, this is the place to be. All right, so here we are. We're at the other end of the vertical line, and obviously I can see behind us, this is where they're going to start being loaded by...
Yeah, so we have a 5-ton cranes up above us. They pick them out of what we call our pick face, our vertical storage.
Yeah.
They then get placed onto our uni skids, which we've already discussed, which then get pushed out through the door and stored outside.
Got it. So these cranes come over, they come out here, they pick it up, they put it on the uni skid, and then that's where the combi lifts and start moving them around and storing them outside to be picked up by the trucks.
Yeah, so the combi lift moves it around outside, puts it into its location where it needs to be, it's transferred on the system.
Yeah.
And then, it goes out to site.
And so again, but the trucks are loaded in a way that they're being used for each floor or however it's being done.
However the customer wants it. So some customers want an entire floor at a time. Some customers want it in 2 different pours, so they can build their building like this, depending on how they're building it.
Sure.
So whatever the customer wants, we facilitate.
Yeah. And how about these walls when they're out in the weather? Any issues with that?
There's no issues because we put packaging on the external ones, and the internal ones don't need it. So you've got a 6-month life on the windliner itself, and all the cut edges are all taped.
Right.
So that allows it to give you that water seal, so no water's going to get into it.
And you guys have storage outside as well, not just in the vertical line.
So we can also hold another 2,500 meters outside, so which gives us a 4 weeks worth of stock for every customer at any one time. That's it. I think this is our journey. This is our journey. There is other areas of the factory. We've got window pockets upstairs, which can hold 700 windows. But I think we've fully covered the full journey.
Hey man, we appreciate you taking the time to let us come into the manufacturing facility here. You, Sean Weston, Paul, everybody. It's awesome. I'm telling you right now, I think people are going to love what you're doing here and they want to know more. So we'll be back.
Brilliant. It's good to hear.
We're going to go to a job site too, I hope.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Awesome. There you have it, everybody. We are in Braintree, United Kingdom at British Offsite, their new manufacturing facility, and they are pumping them out the door. Business is good, and they're hiring. That's what we love to hear in the industry. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.